Yeah, I've had me. Hey, how you doing? I've had a hot lunch. Technically, it was a breakfast food, and finally got me a cup of really decent coffee, heated to my temperature, 160 degrees. It's time to talk about all you hobo jihadi motherfuckers. You really need some shit. Get your shit together. That's what this is gonna be. The hobo jihadis. So I'm talking about the jihadis. I got to remember the. Let me address. I'm going to try to keep this relatively short. You never know. Uh, the AI is that I'm pretty sure it was a Russian hack. I really don't think an Israeli-made platform couldn't have been screwed up by YouTube. The Russian hack that was 16 days ago is straightened out. The AI is protecting me and holding comments for review. You think you're on my channel, you're not on my channel. You notice you're really not getting any likes or anybody backing you up or talking to you. You might be able to see it for a little while, but it's not actually there. It's in my file waiting for review. Right now there's hundreds of channels waiting to be to get a strike, or their second or third final strike, or sometimes you get a death penalty right off the bat for, say, promoting terrorism, which some guy just was doing that. See, I know how to make a complaint, and when they put up the box where they want me to type in the complaint, I say it in the fewest words possible, in a legal style. One guy starts off, I can't even remember the next two sentences in his defense of hobo. He goes, "You're kind of lame, dude." Of course I am. I've told you I'm a cripple, the broken arm and ripped out rotator cuff, sitting here in a wheelchair and shit like that. That's one of the reasons I hate hobo shoestring is like one of the second, third videos that I just got to the point where he was about to climb up on a grainer, and he literally brought his knee up to nipple level. And I'm going like, okay, this guy's 57 years old. He's not showing any signs of real arthritis or nothing. He's a lazy bum. I'm sorry. If you're 57 and you can still pump up that far, that, easily and stuff, no, I really don't. I'm not buying nothing. And then another video, had to cut it off at the point at which he squats down kind of oriental style, where his buttocks are literally resting on his heels. He's actually got his ankles up. He's perfectly balanced on the balls of the feet, despite that he's allegedly a recovering drunk or something, went through detox and stuff. And if you can do that at that age and stuff, that means you have no arthritis. You've never had a torn tendon, ligament, or any of that shit. I'm the last of the Kruger brothers. I know what the fuck I'm talking about when it comes to injuries and shit. And I've been around my fair share of a different kind of wars, a war in which you don't wear uniforms, except the uniforms I dealt with. They were supposed to be friendlies, but anyway. Sometimes I have to trail off. Then one of the last ones I just got to, the guy starts off, and actually you notice I corrected myself immediately, because I review my videos usually as soon as they post up, and I put a like on them to keep proper count. I do not have 190 videos up at this point in time. I have been overproducing lately. That's because people have been getting on my nerves. The weather's been bad. This has been a form of passing the time, and I don't want to watch any more kind of Pauly Shore low grade B movie. If it isn't some like an old Eagle Lion black and white, or some movie that I've never heard of that for some reason didn't really get a critical review or shit, because Hollywood's all politics. Oh shit, that hurts. Guy was starting off as, "Why would you assume that he's a jihadi?" I told you that I assumed he was a jihadi based upon critical analysis of too long of an interaction with him. See, you're trying to put words in my mouth. I did slip and say he was pretending because he was asking about Jesus. He first began by saying, is today the holy day or was it yesterday? He already knows. He's driving a fucking, I don't know how much that tractor costs, as in tractor trailer. Brand new, and for a deal out of Wisconsin, Michigan, where there's tons of Muslims. It's called deductive reasoning. Some of you people, you really think that your lame ass fucking rhetoric of lies and distortions and trying to twist my words or shit like that, or trying to tell an untruth about what I presented, you're full of shit. He's a jihadi. He tried the Arabic version of the Socratic method, where they raise their left hand and they pinch rest their chin as they begin their questioning process. That's the Socratic method, where you try to ask questions that provoke the person to come over to your way of thinking. I have an education. Most of you do not. And you also rest the elbow of the left arm cupped in your right hand. It's a classical, he assumed a classical position, especially it's in his cultures all the time. See it. And the guy this morning, I just got through talking to a friend of mine that knows it's in the Western world, we do like this, except for a dog, you do like this and even pat. That's what he was doing. Is literally at the end, he almost patted the chair he was sitting on. He expected, come on, man. You people are really just hilarious. Your ability to analyze what I'm doing is extremely limited. I've told you, what I'm doing here is cinema verite. This is live commentary from a well-educated, well-experienced person, and I can look at your dead page and tell that you're a coward hiding. And when you do show your faces and shit like that, usually you're somebody that's out there trying to paint a pretty picture of what it maybe. I think one of the guys that lame dude, he had like his wife and his dog, all that little tiny little circle of. Make sure you got them all in there. Like, I'm a family man. I'm a good guy. Bullshit. You're an asshole. You're a hobo lover. He was supporting, defending terrorists. He's obviously, the guy didn't even finish reading his statement before I reported him for, promotion of terrorism. And trust me, right now, if I report you for promoting terrorism, your channel's going in a hole for a long time until it may actually come up under human review, not AI review. There's a big difference. AI still can't do the kind of analytics that a human can do, because AIs are kind of two-dimensional. We are really four dimensions: height, width, depth, and time. We have an advantage in time, and the fact that we have a chronological advantage in knowledge and perceptive of the other three dimensions over the AI, which is a child yet, a struggling child named Alexa or whatever. So, I frequently have these. I'm sorry, I have to watch them, because sooner or later somebody's gonna. It's amazing the driving around here. I do want to give a shout out before 10 minutes, because I know the people of Pflugerville have watched my criticisms of the Christian gang stalking here and all the bad activities and shit. And the last couple of days, they've appeared to be working on keeping the Christian bullies down and doing it the right way. You're doing much better, Pflugerville. You really are. Let's keep it up, because don't make me have to. I'll let the old man slide when he battered me. That's of course they would. He's rich and he's a member of the community and stuff. he would have gotten away with it. He wouldn't have paid the full penalty because he's already near death or could die at any time. Although he's actually, I can tell he'd never fucking really worked a hard day in his fucking life. If you're at 80 years old, you're fucking still can punch me in the fucking, and unfortunately for him, because his nuts was right about where my foot was at, he was striking me right in the area where you have the reflex. You get a reflex kick, violent kick to the nuts in that position. I've told this to a friend of mine who was just here a minute ago. We're catching up on his, trying to give him a little, anyway. I'm not sure if but I probably will continue on my analysis of, but I'm telling you right now, everybody who's a subscriber to Hobo Shitstain is now pegged by the AI as gang stalkers and cyber bullies. They already knew before I started making complaints. That's why so many of you don't have functioning channels now. They might let you view something, but you're not going to speak. If you speak, they're going to hide your comment. You'll never get a like on it. You people really think you can just keep up this endless bullying and shit? I've had too many step forward and bear witness on the cyber stalking gang of American jihadi types known as the hobo shoestring crowd. There are only possibly, even I think the Australian actor dude doesn't actually subscribe. And I already know that I've got some subscribers in there because they make their subscriptions public, but they made mine private. So I know that there's a bunch of people thinking they're going to get a chance to talk on here when actually I intend to stay vigilant for quite a long time and stuff because, and you know what? I don't give a fuck. I just started this channel, really, as I was recovering after the attempted murder thing, and really wasn't, was actually just making pleasant videos at first and shit until some fucking Christian who couldn't convert me got somebody to stab me in the neck with an ice pick right here in an area that actually is a dead zone for cameras and shit. That's one of the reasons I'm tolerated, is I'm really off camera. It's even though I'm right in the middle of 5 points that intersect, everybody sees me. Everybody around here knows me. They talk about me all the time, and now they're calming down because they really got no dirt on me. I'm not an evil person like a guy who every time he starts the camera, he does it committing a crime. He's already on the right of way. He's trespassing. See, I'm not going, when I know somebody is a complete and total loser, I stop investigating them. I'm not going to pay LexisNexis. I'm not going to pay legitimate, even though a lot of this stuff's available online openly. It depends on the person and stuff. The child rapist, his pro se appeal in Texarkana was right there, right off the bat, #1 on Google search because he's searching himself. How do you think that even Alex Jones, how do you think you trade? The Google search engine works for the dumbest fuckers. If you can't do a Boolean construct that's really pinpoints it, you have to keep putting in what little you know until it finally starts rising to the top and you finally get it. If you won't even, you can make yourself famous. I've known people that sit around all day that post a few things on YouTube or Facebook or something else like that with a link to a YouTube channel, and then they sit there all day typing their name into the search engine, clear, type it in again, clear, type it in again, clear. take another hit on the meth bowl, the bolo, and type it in again, clear, read it, click on this, click on that, clear, put it in again, click on whatever's coming up, and clear, and then it's really simple. I mean, it's child's play. Really, it is. To train the Google search engine is really easy. It's the reason that my name's up there, right up there with the famous fiction writer William Kent Kruger, is because so many people have tried searching for me without knowing my first name. I don't really give a shit. And you know what? I think I misplaced my cigarettes. I'm once again in that mode because there's nothing like a good, really hot cup of coffee. It's not actually the caffeine, it's the heat. We have studies that show it's the ritual and the heat that increases peristalsis that really wakes you up. There's a study with like monks up in the mountains and stuff who just drink hot butter that has a little bit of lemon or orange skin in it, just for a little bit of a hint of aroma. It's the sipping of hot water and the increase of peristalsis after your gut has calmed down and moved everything down and filled up your colon and sigmoid colon, and you're ready to get up for the morning deuce. The hot water increases that peristalsis, and boom, you have a bowel movement. It's not coffee is the world's best laxative. Hot water is the best stimulant because it causes no damage. God commands you to stand before white hair because you young punks out there who think you some badass motherfuckers and you know it all, you're a source of... That's why I'm a people watcher. I just had a kid in a 7-Eleven a little while ago. I was heating that coffee up in the microwave to get it hot enough. I was leaving, we made eye contact, and I know when somebody recognizes me, and I have my glasses on. He's probably one of my local viewers here. Or he might remember me from the streets of Austin. I was famous as King Rat down there for a long time. I was the guy that stabbed your motherfucking ass in a heartbeat. I think Josh said, I should call him by his last name, but I don't want to say which Josh. Josh said, you mean you'll slap the shit out of him? Actually, I don't get into that bitch slapping games and shit like that. I do fight open-handed, but I don't use the whole hand. I only use a tiny part of that hand to inflict damage. And no, I would never let anybody get a chance to get a hold of one of my arms and bust the elbow. Oh no. No, if I'm coming at you, like I said before, all the real fights I've had are over in like 1 to 2 seconds and shit. And the ones I've observed is, the superior fighter is going to win every fucking time unless, one time I actually had to take a minor beating, ended up with a broken rib because the party who initiated the attack was, I'm going to tell it straight here because this is my life story. He was a Native American two-spirit person who went around dressed as in that one spirit, the female spirit, and you could clearly see his penis through his lovely lady slacks, and he had filleted every young male in Bangor, Maine, including boys from good Jewish families. They just didn't care. They're out there partying and getting high and shit and drunk. And so this guy had some power as being a protected minority. And I wasn't, we don't really recognize Jews as a protected minority. So, and at that time, I failed to mention Bangor PD. It was, because I hate, sometimes I'll start pronouncing Bangor the way that people don't know how to do English right. At that point in time, about 70% of Bangor PD was all gay men and lesbians. So me putting a serious hurt because the two-spirit person used the two boys he had just filleted to attack me. He didn't attack me. He, she, two-spirit person, Native American, when humans are not native to the Americas. See where I'm going with this? We call them first Americans in the anthropology department. So, I actually let that little fucker stomp me. He broke a rib. Big deal. It healed. But I knew not to, and then he went around bragging about it and shit. Next thing you know, he took off with somebody's vehicle, unauthorized use of a motor vehicle, 3 years in a state pen. There's no parole in the state of Maine. If the judge doesn't reduce your sentence, you're just kind of screwed. You know, the minute you start twisting my words or something like that, and then I'm assuming that somebody's a jihadi, after I've had the guy in the case of the truck that was parked in Starbucks, he was there when I got there. He obviously slept in a sleeper the same way this guy this morning had been sleeping in a truck that has 2 separate seats and no sleeper. It was an old, ancient fucking truck. And he slept in there. Everything about him, including that, the way he summoned me like a dog, and he was speaking Arabic. It's just his behavior. And to tell you the truth, that's like a 8,600 pound tear net weight or whatever. It still requires a CDL to drive that thing. And it was just, I have a right to be suspicious. This country, your people are essentially going like, oh yeah, well, no, that's actually what I saw was on my way into 7-Eleven a little while ago. There was an atheist, you know, they have this atheist bumper sticker where they list, it's also sometimes claimed to be the Universalist Unitarian Church, which accepts all kind of gay people and whatever you want to do, you know, because we're Unitarian Universalists, you know. We do hip hop. You're a gangster. You sell meth and you pimp your hoes. That's okay. Come on in. Buddha and Jesus and all that. Everybody loves you. Okay, let's do some hip hop now. It's dance time. And it had what was next to the bumper sticker? There was another thing, and then another kind of atheist shit, some kind of because I really just took one look at it and I went, you know, I make an instant judgment on somebody like that. You know, they were in the store and I was actually trying to give a little advice to a woman who was about to spend $50 on minor shit about simply douching. Oh, it's she said she's having a upper respiratory infection. That's what I'm talking about. This is upper respiratory, okay? Bronchus, upper respiratory. And she goes, oh yeah, my dad used a neti pot. I go, don't do a neti pot. That's pushing in. You have to learn how to do a proper nasal douche. I'll show you sometime how to kill microbes, get out allergens and irritants and shit. And I really told her that it's your living quarters. She's more susceptible to the ozone buildup and any fragrances you have in there and other. That's what's causing her upper respiratory inflammation is a human inflammatory response reacting to the ozone buildup and whatever toxins they have in that airtight, energy-efficient home. Because we're going to save the whales and shit, you know. Stop oil. Well, you drove here, so stop driving here. And she goes, no, it's my girlfriend. And asked her, when she said she, I said, your child? Or, and when she goes, your girlfriend, then I got to put on an act. Well, who knows nowadays? Yeah, what the hell do I know? Yeah. And I realized right then I'm wasting my time on hypochondriacs again. I have little time left. And it's hard. You really almost cannot change a hypochondriac. You can't alter that mindset of complete self-absorption, egocentrism that is the nature of a hypochondriac. I know, I'm watching me all the time, all day long. So, if you think this country isn't full of jihadis waiting to come, because I'm going to conclude here because I've got things I'd like to say, but I can't make this too long because I'm feeling like it at this exact second. This country is full of infiltrators who come here. And I'll finish with this story. I checked, I've said it before in a video, and it was actually October 6th that a Muslim woman wearing a hijab, head covering and stuff, wasn't covering her mouth, whatever, but a hijab and slacks, that's where she's trying to throw me a little bit, came up and played a little funny on me and gave me $100 Visa gift card that only had 30 bucks on it. That was her intent. This was the day before apparently every Muslim knew it was going to happen. Little code words here and there, all through their network in their language. It was October 6th. She did that. And it was on October 6th that she had already drawn out 70 of the $100. Actually, that's the only Muslim that's ever given me anything. You say, why would I make assumptions? That's because no Arabic, Afro-Arabic Muslim has ever given me anything here or anywhere. Maybe it's because they don't like blue eyes. Blue eyes means I'm not one of them. Although, as Malcolm X, the lying piece of shit Malcolm X said, total phony fake. I am going to finish with this. I, unlike you, am educated. I read the final public speeches of Malcolm X, and he was a hateful, racist, cock-sucking motherfucker until his last dying breath. Don't tell me that Malcolm X came back from his Haji to Mecca and shit, an enlightened person and loving everyone. Read the last public speeches of Malcolm X. It's a book. It's an exact transcription of what was recorded in public of what he said, and he still called us yapping dogs and shit like that. And you can go ahead and yap away, because I know all you who really hate me, you're safely tucked away in your mommy's basement or shit or somewhere and calling yourself, what was that one guy's? Anyway, it doesn't matter. Because see, like when I really don't like you, I try to not remember anything about you once I have resolved and completed, adjudicated your case. Closed, case closed. And this episode is closed.